Hi there, it's Pauline, and I'm talking to you today about how to make the most of Facebook groups. So I'm coming to you with my top three crucial things that you need to consider when you are choosing your Facebook groups to maximize the return you get and to get the most engagement and benefit from coming into these Facebook groups. Now, I love Facebook groups, and they're one of the chief ways that I have grown my business, particularly my online following. And that was by going into other groups and leaving great content, connecting with people, building those relationships, and being present and consistently in there over and over again, day after day. And you can do this quite simply. It doesn't need to be as hard as it sounds or as time consuming as it sounds. So I have three tips for you today. The three things that you really need to consider when you are choosing which groups you are going to spend your time and energy in to get the best returns, to get the maximum results for the effort that you're putting in. Let me just adjust this a tiny bit here. Okay, all right. So the first thing you need to do is it's a catch cry of mine, get clear on who your ideal client is. Because this is the thing, if you know who your target market is, then you should know as much as possible about these people. And you want to then go into the groups where they are. So getting really clear on what their problems are, what they are worried about, what they keep talking about, what they would be searching for when they're on social media, what sort of groups they would hang out in. You know, if they're a mum wanting to lose weight, they might be in parenting groups, or they might be in weight loss groups, or they might be in mums who want to lose weight type groups. But knowing what those groups are and where you're going to find your ideal client is really key in being able to connect with the right people for you, so that you're really honing in on the groups that are going to have people in it that you have services to offer, rather than, you know, joining 100 different groups and hoping that somewhere someone is going to want what you have to offer. So even getting really specific, you know, do they like watching certain movies or series? Do they like watching Outlander, for example? I love that show and the books. There are groups out there that are devoted totally for people who watch Outlander and who are fans, or A Handmaid's Tale, or Star Trek. Not that that's one that I would go to, but you know, them, even though they may be in a certain industry or they may be a certain type of business, they may also commonly have these other interests as well. And that's how you can sort of step outside the square a little bit and connect with them on that deeper level. But the key is going to be to know exactly who it is you are targeting, so that you know where you need to go to find them. Also, say certain tools. Maybe if you're targeting chefs, for example, then they love their knives. There may be certain websites or certain places or certain organizations that they would be a member of that have their own Facebook group, or that are connected with other Facebook groups. So knowing organizations or the other tools associated with that all of them would need to have is another way that you can find particular groups that are going to be relevant for your target market. So that's the first thing, and you need to of course be clear on what problem it is that they have that you're going to solve. So you want to be clear on who your ideal client is, and then use the information that you have about them or the research that you've done to find the Facebook groups where they are most likely to be, and that's where you want to be as well, because that's where your ideal client is. Now, the other thing that you want to do when you're on Facebook, particularly in groups, is to be very clear on the intention or the purpose for which you are using Facebook groups. So we've mentioned the first one, which is to find your ideal client or to connect with your ideal client. But another thing that you may want to be doing with Facebook groups is to get knowledge. So maybe you have an online business and you want to learn more about how to run an online business. So you may go into groups which specialize in helping you set up content or set up websites or coaching type Facebook groups where there's a collection of coaches and you're not necessarily looking to have coaches as your clients, but you want to get the knowledge and use the power of that mastermind effect to help you with any problems that you may be having or any stumbling blocks you may be having in your business. So you may be going in there with the purpose of looking for knowledge, looking for education, and connecting with other peers or colleagues that you can then use in that mastermind situation. So maybe entrepreneur type groups may be where you go, even though your ideal client may not be an entrepreneur. And the third crucial thing that you need to do is to be strategic with the groups that you do. Be selective and check out their guidelines. Now, I know that some people will not join a Facebook group unless they do have the opportunity to promote themselves. And nowadays the admins of these groups are tending to cut back on some of that and not allowing promotions. Now, that should not deter you from joining a group, because you will find that the people in that group are going to be much more committed and perhaps genuine and open to building those relationships, rather than going into a group that allows either unlimited promotion or promotion more often. Because you will find that once it's promo day, everybody's in there. The newsfeed is absolutely filled with promotions and you're going to get lost in the crowd. People are just going in there to promote their stuff and not necessarily going in there to look and see if there's anything they want to get involved with or build those relationships. So maybe you may find that you're not getting that deeper connection in those groups. Now, this is a general rule, so specific cases may be different. But I suppose that the point that I'm getting to is that you don't just join a group because it allows promotion. Look at the guidelines, follow the guidelines. If there are theme days, for example, like there are in my group, one of my groups, then you want to follow the theme, and each day that gives you a guideline as well on what to promote. It gives you a bit of a thought inspiration on what to come up with when you're going to talk in those groups, and you're not sort of coming from nowhere having no idea what you should be posting. So go into the groups. The ones that don't allow promotion, as I said, can be very powerful. If they contain your ideal client, if they are a really interactive, engaged group, then they may be gold for you. You go in there, you add value. You put up free content. You help people out. You read the posts. You comment on the posts. You don't say, oh, and if you're having problems, I can help you with that. Here's my website. No, you just give freely of your information and your education and your help, and they will come to you. If they see you regularly helping people and answering questions or problems that they themselves have, then they're likely to contact you. How can I contact you? How do I get more help from you? Or you might start getting those personal messages saying, I saw your post in the group, I'd love to have a chat. And that's so much more powerful than you going out and chasing business and saying, please, I'm here, come work with me. For them to start coming to you because they see the value in what you do. So that, and of course, if you are someone who is wonderful with video, for example, if you can find a group that allows you to present yourself on video, either to upload videos or to do Facebook Lives in the group, then if that's a way that you really connect well with your potential clients, then you may want to search for that when you're looking for the groups that you want to join. So let's just quickly go back over these three crucial tips. So the first one is to get really clear on who your target market is, so that you know where they're going to be, the types of groups they're going to be hanging out in, and then you join those groups too. The second point is to be very clear on your intention and your purpose when you are on Facebook and in Facebook groups. If it's for looking for clients, you're going to be acting in a different way to whether you are looking to get knowledge or build connections with potential joint venture partners, strategic alliances, those sort of things are quite different to looking for customers or clients. So just be clear on what it is you're doing and don't try and mingle it all together. Just the more step by step you can be, the more powerful you're going to be with the results that you get. And the third thing is to really check out the guidelines and have your strategy in place so that you know what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do. Stay within the guidelines and choose groups that not necessarily are going to allow you to promote, but are going to be really engaged and interactive and allow you to build real relationships there. So those are my 3 tips. Extra tips I've got for you today are to batch your content. So when you're creating content, see if you can set aside a couple of hours every few weeks and create quite a few posts. Gather the graphics as well so that you've got them ready to go. You can schedule them in advance if you've got your own group or if you've got your own page. But if you're in someone else's group, you'll have to do that manually. And repurpose it so that you're not just using it once. If you're going to the entire effort to create great content, then use it in as many different places and in as many different ways as you can. So in different groups, maybe use it on YouTube, in your newsletter, on your blog, on your own page, all those different places. Use it long copy, then break it down into a series of different posts that you can spread out. So as much as possible, repurpose. What else? Mix up your posts so that you're not always doing a long post. You're not always doing a meme or something like that. Do maybe a question one day, a case study another day, a strategy another day, a tip another day. All sorts of different ones so that you're giving out great content and making it interesting. People are always knowing that you're going to put out something awesome, but they might be surprised by what it is. And then the biggest tip that I have for you is to, once you are really, really clear on who your target market is, what solution you offer them, and who it is you want to attract to have in your community, then start your own group, because that's where you have authority. You are the boss, the leader, the expert. People will be coming to you and see you as an expert because you have that Facebook group. So that's what I would highly recommend. That's the ultimate goal, to build your own community where you have your own Facebook group. Now, if you have any questions about any of this, then please ask, and I am happy to answer them below here. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.